Hey, good morning, everybody.
Welcome. Welcome to those of you who are here with us live on this Sunday morning, and welcome to those who are watching later as well.
Awesome, yeah. All right, everybody, pause your knitting. If you can hear us, give us a thumbs up. Awesome, yay, thank you.
Cool, cool. All right, so I'm Kathleen.
And Amanda.
And we've got Haley over here, who you'll see shortly. She's going to be modeling for us. There she is. And we're coming to you from Yarnia, and we're really happy that you've joined us for this virtual portion of the 2020 Wool Walk. It's exciting that. Oh, actually, we're not reversed now, are we?
No, we are. See,
okay.
We're using software to put these words at the bottom of the screen.
Amanda is very tech savvy. Thank goodness, because I used to be. I'm kind of out of the loop now.
It's not worth keeping up with, I think.
No, like, I'd rather knit.
Totally, right?
I'd rather knit.
So long as it works when you turn it on.
That's the matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're here to talk to you this morning about a couple of our favorite brands. We have many favorite brands in our store.
We do. We only carry our favorite brands.
Exactly. And we moved a couple months ago. We moved from a space that was really about 300 square feet of selling space to a space that is almost triple that. And when we were in the teeny tiny store, I used to say to people very sincerely, we don't carry anything we don't love because we don't have room to carry anything we don't love. But it was a really good lesson for us, I think, because we learned that, you know, you don't need to carry things you don't love, because we were able to meet pretty much any need that anyone came at us with things we love. So that's been our philosophy. Stock what you love.
Yep.
And use what you love. So today we're going to show you some of our favorite yarns, as I said, and also things that we've made with them. And I do think everything we're doing today was made by somebody in the store.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you know, yarn companies will send you a sample when you buy a whole lot of yarn, and actually on Tuesday we'll have a couple of things like that. But, you know, just so that you really understand how much we love this, these are all things that have been created by
We're prolific.
Either Jen or me or Haley. Actually, I don't know if we have any Haleys today. We will have Haley's on Tuesday. And Jen, our other partner, who is doing the sweater class in a little bit.
Right. That's why Jen's not here today.
Class. Yeah.
For those of you guys who know Yarnia, you know we've got three of us.
Three partners.
Me, Kathleen, and Jen. Jen is teaching our super popular sweater class starting at 11 o'clock, which is in 56 minutes. So she can
and which she does from her house.
And there at the same time.
Yeah. So she's doing that by Zoom from her home. So so she's here in spirit.
Totally. That's been a super popular class this fall.
Very popular.
Yeah.
Well, as we talked about on Knit Night too, I think you know, it sold out, I think, in 2 days, and she definitely has a following. She's an excellent teacher, and people love the sweaters that she chooses. So
yeah.
But we'll see. She's thinking about maybe doing that one as a second go round, which I think if she can find the time in her schedule to do it, I'm sure we could, you know, have enough people to sign up for it again.
Yeah. Well, that's the challenging thing. I mean, I think for all of us is time.
Yes.
Especially kids.
Kids and all COVID and all the extra things going on. Yeah. So, all right. So, I guess we should just launch into talking about some of those yarns that we can tell you about. So, Kelborn Woolens is the first brand we're going to feature. Amanda, do you want to talk a bit about Kelborn?
Sure. Yeah. So, Kelborn is owned by two ladies, Courtney Kelley, and Gagnon Osborne, Kate Gagnon Osborne. And so, as Courtney likes to say, it's her favorite word, portmanteau. Kelborn is a portmanteau of their names.
Oh, cool. Oh,
Kelley,
that makes sense.
and Osborne is Kelborn.
And I thought it was a place in Ireland or something. It could be. It may be, actually. It still could be, even though that's not where it came from.
But yeah, so that's how they got their name. They've been around over 10 years, I guess, like 12 years now. Started out as a distribution company, right? So in the supply chain of yarn, there's, you know, it doesn't go sheep and then it's on our shelves. There's a lot of people in between that do a lot of different jobs. And so, you know, the folks that were making, they started out with a fiber company and, you know, distributed the yarn for the fiber company. The fiber company specialized in spinning and dyeing and all that kind of stuff and making really cool yarn. Packing boxes and shipping wasn't something they wanted to do every day. So
they outsourced that. Yeah.
Yep. So that's where Courtney and Kate came in and built their company. And then after 10 years, they launched their own yarn line. Started with, let's see, Andorra first, which we don't have here. And then Scout was their second one. And now they've got like 6 yarns, I think, right? They've got Andorra and Scout, Perennial, Mojave, Germantown, and Lucky Tweed. I think I have them all.
And Perennial, is that still?
Yeah, Perennial's there. That was.
And actually, yeah, we have, I realized that I didn't put that on the list, but we can show some Perennial too in kits that we've got here.
They have a really cool kit that I love.
Yeah. So, yeah, so that's
one of our favorites. Yeah. And if you, there's actually a really great podcast. If you want to hear more about them, some ladies in business who had never owned a business before and really wanted to like, hey, is this sound familiar?
Sounds like us.
They were like, hey, let's start a business. This is a great idea.
Well, we were in business, but not in small business.
Didn't own your own
business. Yeah, exactly.
Before.
That's a different thing.
Yeah, but
so,
Courtney
but it is a whole different thing.
They had worked in yarn stores. They're both like experienced weavers. They went to art school. Like
and they're based out of Philly, right?
They're in Philly,
in the Philly area. Yeah, or right in Philly itself.
And they met at a yarn store in Philly. They both worked there. And
cool. Nice.
Yeah. But there's a great podcast on Woolful.com, which is an audio podcast that used to exist. Well, I mean, it still exists, but there's no new episodes coming out. But I think episode 48, I was binge listening last night, so I can remember all this stuff. It's not all like permanently in my head. Yeah, but like super cool, their story and how they just sort of said like, we're going to start a business.
I'd like to listen to that.
It's really good. So yeah, so I'll switch over to our little subtitle that says, Kelborn, because that's what we're going to talk about for a little bit.
All right. So the first of, and it's funny, I realized when I was putting our notes together for this yesterday, we're both really kind of into organization. Like we have said to people, when there's a project, the first thing we do is start a spreadsheet. It's years in corporate life, I guess, right? Seriously. It's like, what are you going to do? So we're starting with heaviest and going to lightest of the yarns that we carry for each brand. So Lucky Tweed is the first yarn that we're going to talk about. And
it's actually the newest one from
that is, I don't know if that's every single color of Lucky Tweed. I pulled what we had on the shelf. So Lucky Tweed is,
I think there's an oatmeal-y one.
Well, it is really white. That's actually what I'm using in. That's what I'm using in my.
Here.
Yeah, there's a light. We may be out. We may be completely out of one color.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we've got the full range, I do believe, of this. There's at least one color that is backloaded right now, and we've got.
We have one light, and I put it on.
On our model.
Yeah.
So actually, let's show our model, Haley, if we can.
Sure.
Who's wearing a sweater that Amanda made out of Lucky Tweed.
Ta-da! You're on camera. Here,
it is the Felix Pullover by Amy Christoffers, and it's such a pretty. It's such a pretty and simple design, and all of the raglan increases are built into the lace pattern, which is really, really pretty. You want to come a little closer, sweetie?
Well, let's see if it's going to autofocus today. Hold on. Why am I not autofocusing?
Yeah, that was that. You can see that.
All right. So, sorry, guys.
Yeah. So that is the Felix Pullover by Amy Christoffers. And both Jen and Amanda made these last winter. And I don't know, I was in the middle of 3 other sweaters, I think. So I did not cast one on at that moment. But I do also love Lucky Tweed. So maybe Haley, you want to go over and grab the Lucky Tweed cardigan? There's a cardigan that that I made in it. I loved this color. This will show you one of the colors, the beautiful colors of Lucky Tweed. Actually, I'll grab it too. I'll just show you before we switch back to Haley. This is tomato, which is such a pretty red. I've, got auburn hair, and usually I don't like to wear red, but this is a red that really works on pretty much anybody. So, and obviously since this was made for me, it's a little big on my daughter. But, This is the Magnolia Chunky Cardigan by Camilla Vad. You want to show the, maybe bring the sleeve closer.
I gotta figure out how to get this zoom better because I want you guys to see the flex in this tweed.
Yeah, it's true. It's not auto-focusing today.
I don't know why. Because we're live today. No, because of course we're live and technology doesn't work when it's supposed to. It's like your car when you take it to the shop, right?
Oh, it's auto-focusing on you guys.
Exactly. Yeah. That's my computer, so it's auto-focusing, and then my digital camera's over here. So I'll let you talk about Lucky Tweed, and I'll see if I can figure out how to autofocus.
All right, yeah. So, and actually, all of the yarns we're going to talk about today are available on our website, shopyarnia.com. Lucky Tweed is $20 per skein. It's 210 yards of merino wool, and it is produced in Ireland. So, we've got the Felix sweater, we've got the Magnolia Chunky Cardigan. Actually, I'm working on, since I didn't do a Felix last winter, I decided I did need to do a Lucky Tweed sweater this year. And Haley, do you want to go grab the one that's in progress? Just the yarn cake is attached to it. So I finally decided I had to get in on the fun of doing a Lucky Tweed sweater. And this is, I'm almost at the, I'm just starting the ribbing on this now.
All right, let's see if this works.
This is the Clotilde.
Yay!
Yeah.
Now we're focused.
It is, yay.
That is Clotilde Sweater by Knitting for Olive. And for this, a lot of people have done it with one strand of worsted and a strand of mohair or something. In fact, I think that is, what the pattern calls for. But I got Gauge with 2 strands of Lucky Tweed. So I'm excited. I had in my mind that I wanted to do a pullover that had kind of all over lace. And this was one that I found that I thought, had a fun look to it and would be compatible with Lucky Tweed. That's always so one of those things, finding that sweet spot of pattern and yarn. When you feel like it really clicks, it's a happy moment. So
I think you nailed it. That one looks so cool.
I like that. So it's funny because we podcast every other Tuesday, and I said last time we recorded that one was going to be done, but I don't think it is because today it's Sunday morning. I've got like 48 hours. I'll get my ribbing done today for sure, and I'll probably start on a sleeve, but I don't have conference calls like Amanda to do my conference call knitting.
Okay, somebody said they were jealous of me being on like 6 hours of conference calls a day. Not Kathleen.
Well, you make it sound fun because you get to knit.
It's so fun. I get to talk about insurance on conference calls for like 6 or 7 hours a day.
So
it's not fun.
We do have the fog color in this hat.
Oh yeah.
All right. So here's one more thing, and this is one that Jen made. This is a store sample, so this is here all the time. Actually, the other 3.
And you can see the flex now in the. You can see the flex in that one, and on the sweater too, because.
Yeah. The other 3 we've shown you are personal projects, so they're not going to be in the store all the time. Though I have worn that cardigan twice. Oh yeah, that's better. You get to see the lace.
Yeah, beautiful.
The bobbles pop so nicely. This is my favorite sweater I've made in the last year. I really do love that. So
you're covered
occasionally see
in Lucky Tweed.
Lucky Tweed all the time.
Oh, I love that.
So
yay!
So,
I pretty much was all Lucky Tweed all the time last winter. I have to say.
Well, but then you had the Germantown phase too, and actually that's the next yarn I thought we should talk about.
Yeah.
So Amanda's got all the colors of Germantown on her side.
I'll put up my Kelburn Woolens again in case anybody's joining us. They know what we're talking about. Yeah. So there came a time last holiday season when we were on our podcast, and I realized like all 5 of my projects I was working on were Germantown. All Germantown.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah, that is true.
So I think we have every color of Germantown.
Yes. Here, I'll grab one of these
because we super love it.
We do. We keep this in stock. I mean, I'd say once every couple of weeks a box shows up, and it's probably got at least some Germantown in it because, well, there are over 20 colors now. I think.
Yep.
There are, and we do stock all of them.
Whether they're here or not.
Yeah, no, I think we've got about 12 per basket. So right there, you've got, over 20 for sure.
Well, they started off with like a very, I'd say, for me, traditional color palette line.
Yeah.
Like when you think of Williamsburg colors, right?
Right,
like
exactly.
That type
Americana
of thing.
Sort of.
Yeah, but like with the navy and this beige and you know, like
one of
this
the reds.
one.
There were always a couple of reds. I remember from the very beginning there were a couple of reds. And the old blue, this was one of the early ones.
This green, this
sage or myrtle.
Yeah, sage or myrtle.
The lavender.
So that was the first set when they first released Germantown.
I think there were 12 or 14 initially, maybe.
Yeah. And then last year they came out with some brights. So
some really brights.
Now we have primaries.
Yeah, exactly.
Red, green.
Oh yeah, and actually, Haley, do you want to hold up?
I know my colors: red, yellow, green. Yeah.
Navy.
And then
and if we can switch to the camera.
That's my son's favorite. So I brought his little hat today. He came in the store and picked out. I told him he could pick anything in the whole store. Oh, that's the side with the hole, Haley. I found it this morning.
It is a hat by a 6.
Well, he was 5 at the time. But yeah, so he loved, and out of the whole store, he picked Germantown.
And that was when you were in your major Germantown phase. That was what was funny. Yeah.
He's so cute, but he loved this. He designed it himself. Well, I mean, he
picked the colors.
He picked the colors and told me what to do with it.
It's like a Crayon Rainbow. It's really fun. Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
Maybe you should write it up and call it Crayon Rainbow.
Well, if anybody wants to know what I did, all the instructions are in my Ravelry project for this. And all the patterns that we're talking about today, this recording will be on our YouTube channel as well as the YouTube channel.
Yep.
And at our channel that's Chronicles of Yarnia on YouTube. I'll put all the links to the patterns that we're talking about and the yarns that we're talking about and things like that in the description bar below the video. So you don't have to wonder how to spell Clotilde or things like that.
We'll have it all for you.
Yeah, because sometimes that gets a little, and we're talking about patterns fast. I know when I listen to podcasts, I appreciate it when you can click down below. So right now in our live Zoom, I'm not that prepared to have like cut and paste, and plus you guys could see me leaning over way too much.
I just had a quick question.
Sure.
Are either of those two superwash? Or are they both?
Neither.
No. Okay. Just I didn't think so. Okay.
No, they're wash and by hand.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, I'll just say that lucky tweed sweater, I put it in my laundry. I mean, this is me. Don't endorse. But I did put it in my
risky laundry person.
I have 6 children so far. Laundry for.
Yeah.
So hand washing things doesn't actually
happen that much. Right?
Yeah, but I put it on like the delicate cycle with some delicate soap. Right. Didn't put it in the dry
water. Yeah.
Like hot to dry.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very impressive.
It was and it was fine. But I didn't, of course, don't stuff your laundry with other things.
Yeah,
right?
Keep it real minimal.
So, but it saved me a little bit of time.
At your own risk. At your own risk.
Yes, at your own risk.
Yeah.
Don't endorse. But I need it.
So let's show a couple of other samples of things we've made with Germantown.
Sure thing.
And Germantown is $14 a skein.
Hold on. The wrap.
It is 220 yards, as we said, non-superwash, and it is made in the USA.
Awesome, and color work like Haley was showing on that hat. Yeah, that was one of my projects last year. I did coffee cup cozies out of Kelborn, Germantown for all the teachers in my kids' class with their own like initials. And then this is the April hat. So Kelborn, in addition to back up a little. Oh, look at that! It fit it. Yay! Autofocus. So in addition to being yarn folks, designers, like they design the yarn, they are also pattern designers. Yeah, and they publish patterns even by other designers as well. They did the year of hats.
Right. Last year was the year of hats. They had a pattern every year? I believe
this year the year of gifts.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think 2019 was year of hats.
2019 is year of hats, and this was the April hat. So I loved this hat. I will say it is not for beginner knitter.
Yeah, there's a lot of
there's a lot of
stuff
like
going on in
picking
there.
up stitches and things like that, but it's just so adorable. And it has a top pom-pom on the top. That little top is a hobble hack a pom-pom on the top, which I thought was just perfect. That was my hat
perfect.
year.
Yeah, very cute. And did we talk about the other hat? You showed the Lucky Tweed hat, right, sweetie?
Yes.
Earlier. That was, I thought it was the March hat, but my notes say it's the York hat. That was what was on the tag.
Yeah, the tag says it.
And this hat, this is a pattern that I did for a colorwork class that I taught at Yarnia last winter, or 2 winters ago, maybe. Yeah, this seems like it was probably 2 years ago. Well,
everything seems 10 years ago now.
As we're coming into
As this one. And
yes.
actually, a fun fact about these two.
This one is not the same exact one, because one uses the red, but when
I thought we used the same stuff.
This one has gray.
Yeah, this one is gray.
It's
if you buy 3 skeins of Germantown, you can make 3 hats with this pattern, because if you use each of them is the background of one hat, and then each of them is the star of another hat, and then each of them is the little, border design of the third hat. If you mix it up, it's the Nordic Star, and Amanda will link to it. It's the Nordic Star Hat pattern by Vandie.
By Vandie.
One of my few published patterns on Ravelry, of all the ones that I kind of start and never finish. But yeah, it is, and that was a fun class. Everyone wound up with at least 2 hats. Which is pretty good for first color work. So, yeah, all right. And just looking at the time here a little bit. And actually,
my blanket.
The blanket, exactly. Yeah. The biggest Germantown project we have, and this is amazing. Yeah.
So, for the last 2 years, not in 2020,
right?
Which turned out okay because we didn't have to cancel everything anyway. But for 2018 and 2019, we had a blanket knit along at Yarnia. So Sunday once a month, we got together. A group of us got together and did a square a month of a blanket pattern. Yeah. So this was my 2019 blanket. It is, if you watch our podcast, you know that it's still not entirely completed because there's supposed to be a braided trim around the edge that I'll probably get to in 20.
I like it like it is. It's your blanket, but I do like it just like it is.
I think I'm probably going to do the braided trim just because it protects the edge.
Yeah.
Right? And after 20 or 30 years, I'm going to need to protect the edge. So I'll probably do that in 2024. It's not going to happen this year. I've got other things to do this year. But my shirt's coming apart. But yeah, so what I love this. This is
all Germantown.
Pure Wool Superwash knit along by Martin Storey. I think it was published in 2014 or 2015. Again, we'll link it down below. This is an awesome pattern if you are a beginner knitter looking to improve your skills. So it is very progressive. It starts with just a knits and purls pattern, right? With written directions, knits and purls. And the good thing about these is you're not like committing to a huge project. You're doing like an 8x8 square. If you get a few rows in and you mess up, take it out, start again, right? Don't fuss over it too much. So it starts with this. Then it goes to charted knits and purls. That's like a star.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, there's a star. Charted knits and purls. Then you learn how to do simple lace. And there's instructions for that. The first lace is little ziggy-zaggies.
Oh no, yeah, here it is, the greens.
Yeah.
Or
the green and red. Yeah, those are both the charted lace. Sideways.
But it is so nice how like each month builds a skill, so really
chart. Then so this is counted like this is instructions on lace, and then chart of lace, and then instructions on cables, and then charts of cables. They have this chart of cables. And then bobbles. Yeah, this is your first little cable, baby cables, I call them, right? And you really do go through so many skills with this blanket. So like folks who are just knitting and purling at the beginning, by the end, we know how to
they're doing every one
lace,
of these skills.
Cable, how to do bobbles, and then basically you're on your way to, tackle almost any, certainly intermediate pattern. So yeah, I love doing these. I find them super fun. I'm not a instructor here at Yarnia. So,
well, but you led that knit along and taught a lot of people through it. Yeah,
yes.
For sure.
And then we have another blanket from my house.
Mm-hmm.
So these are from my house.
That is a well-loved, yep.
It is well-loved.
I
had to repair it last night. One of these squares, I picked it up to bring today, and I found out the kid's already got a hole in it. Thanks, kids. But, all right, let's move on to the next.
All right, so Scout is our third Kelborn yarn that we're featuring today.
You have all Scout,
right? And I do. I have all the Scout. So Scout, we also have in 3, 6, 9. We have the full palette of this, I'm sure, as well.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Under most circumstances.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're out of the bright red right now. The one, you'll see it, we're out of it. And Scout will be restocked and delivered. That's when they're getting more.
Yeah, as you know, people, if you're watching something like this, you probably have heard from, your local yarn store and, other folks as you've been moving around how the pandemic really affected timelines with so many companies. Anything that's related to Italy in any way definitely was way backlogged, and then just there have been delays all the way through. So
Scout's made in Peru, but I know like the Peruvian mills were also shut down for a big part of late spring and early summer. So there's, but everybody's starting to get back to normal. Everything's opening up partway, so it's just going to take a little bit longer.
We've had orders in too on, Amanda stays on top of our ordering. We've had orders in for any of these things that we're out of. So as soon as stock is again available through the distributors, we're getting things in. I don't know if we said Germantown is worsted. It is a worsted weight non-superwash yarn. Scout is the DK weight non-superwash yarn. And it's funny, I was not, I didn't think I'd be such a fan of non-superwash yarns. I'm totally a convert. Totally a convert. So what I'm wearing is the whole top of it. This is the Soldotna. This is my Rhinebeck sweater from last year.
By Caitlin Hunter.
Yep. And the color work is all done in Scout.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I guess one reason I didn't think I would love non-superwash originally is because it does have a little bit more of a rustic feel to it. It's got a little, the teeniest bit of prickle when you rub it. Once you work it, it softens. Once you block it, it softens further. And it's luscious. It's like I'm really kind of persnickety about things sometimes. I would wear this against my skin, no problem. I do wear it against my skin. So anyway, just if you have any concerns about non-superwash yarn being, scratchy or something, it may feel a little, less soft than some things when it's in its original form, when it's in the skein. Once you work it and you block it, I don't feel like it's a problem anymore. So.
No, I agree. And non-superwash does excellently for color work. That's what you
so
want,
good for color work.
Exactly. Blend so nicely.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll see. I have another 6-year-old sweater, and he chose Scout. And he wears it.
Yep, that was Eric again. We got a lot of Eric.
That was Eric. Eric's a Kelborn fan. You'll see.
So one thing that's so nice about this range too is that they've got a lot of solids. There's the solid, there's the white, but mostly they're heathered colors.
Yeah, I think all the Scouts are heathered.
Some of them are less heathery looking than others. Like this is oatmeal heather. I think part of it is just like what the color is.
So they're all a little blendy.
The meadow heather, like some of them you definitely can see like 3 different colors in it, where others are more.
And the strawberry heather too.
And natural is just natural. Yeah. So. So this has been really fun to work with. So so the Soldotna is one, and again this is a personal sweater. It's not here in the store all the time, but Haley's wearing another thing I made. It was actually the first thing I made with Scout. It is the Stoneham Poncho by Dianna Walla. I did modify it a little bit in that I didn't make the neck quite as high. It's a high turtleneck, but I made it, I like a turtleneck that it just kind of stands up. I did originally make this as a project for me, but I decided it could be a store sample because as much as I tried to wear something in blue, I'm just not a blue girl. I like my blacks, my grays, my golds. But so anyway, it's a nice store sample. And this one we did, this was when Scout first came out, I think. I did this. And I think we had sold out of the color that I wanted to use as the accent. So the accent on this is actually knitted wit.
The
Double
turquoise
bubbles.
blue there. The
Yeah.
turquoise blue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the purple as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But the white and the blue, the cream and the blue are Scout. So that was really fun. I've seen some people on Ravelry did this as a pullover, which I think I may do. I have the yarn at home to do it in charcoal with cream and sunflower.
Nice.
I came across that in my queued bin.
So as a pullover, would you have to like divide for the sleeves and continue the color work on the sleeves, you think? Like it would dip below the sleeve.
I think I would play with the pattern a little bit and not have it go quite so far. I would make it so that it ended more at a traditional point. But I do like the color work a lot. I mean, it's a fun, it's really.
This is a pretty big bathroom sweater if you were to just.
Yeah, no, I would adjust it. I would kind of pull it up so that, because it's all in like multiples of threes and fours. So.
Oh, that's nice. So you don't have the long floats to.
Yeah, it's got.
I mean, not that long floats are bad, just not too hard to catch them, but it's just a hassle. It's an extra step in the row.
Exactly.
Which when we're on conference calls, and
So so actually, I know I mentioned with that that's mixed in with some knitted wit, which we also carry here, and how did I forget that? Yeah, oh no, it is right on here. Do you want to put that on to me, or you can just hold it?
I'll switch over to me. If you want to hand me the red sweater, then I'll talk about.
You can talk about that while you change.
Haley can't wear this one. She's a tiny lady, but she can't wear this one.
That's a little small. A t-shirt is one thing. She does still wear child t-shirts sometimes.
This is a pretty.
Yeah. So this is Anker sweater by PetiteKnit.
I love that. It's so pretty.
And
I may have to make one of those.
Eric wanted a red sweater this winter, and I have knit sweaters for everybody else in the house except Eric. So once again, Eric got to come into Yarnia and pick out any color he wanted. Not fingering. Sorry, kiddo. I love you, but you're gonna outgrow that way too fast.
Oh yeah.
But any color he wanted, and he picked out like that little boy loves Colborne. But yeah, so this is Anker sweater by PetiteKnit. This is the red color that was not in the bucket. We might be out of right now. But we'll get back in stock probably November if you really like it. But yeah, it's great. I would also recommend this for a first sweater. It's got yoke increases,
especially if you like ribbing, because that's basically it's like a broken rib pattern for the.
Well, it's a rib, and then like you do the yoke increases like you would a traditional colorwork yoke. But then you also get a little practice down here doing raglans. So both sweater constructions in one pattern, very well written. And this is a great thing. I have a skinny mini kid, so it's actually a size 5, but I knit the length to a size 7. So it fits in really well. Cool. And he just pops it on over his t-shirts, and I don't know if I'm even going to bother buying him a winter wardrobe. I'm just going to let him wear.
I bet it looks so cute on him with his blonde hair too, right? Really nice, and
he enjoys it, and it's nice when you knit things for your kids and they actually wear them all the time. Yeah, Kathleen was saying it's a little pilly, and that's because it's gotten 6-year-old wear.
It's got a lot of use, which is great. Yeah. And actually, we'll talk about knitting things for your kids and they wear them. Haley's wearing a sweater that was a test for our friend Jennifer Weissman.
I love this one.
Shady Stroll. She worked on the sweater pattern last year. It wound up not being published for various reasons. So Haley has one of the few in the world. Actually, there was a great group on her Ravelry page talking about the sweater as they worked on it. Really nice group of people.
I love that. That's so cool.
The body is in Scout, and I used a skein of knitted wit DK in the Lagoon colorway for the color work. So, there are a lot of sweaters that use kind of a single color for all the color work and then fade into a second color for the body. That's such a cool way to blend like one skein of DK, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I knew, yardage wise that I should make it. I should have had enough, and I did, to do the collar and the cuffs with that as the contrast skein. So I thought that was fun. I actually did on this one. I wound up using 3 different colors before I found one that had enough contrast but still coordinated.
Yeah.
You're like, this isn't just. It didn't look The contrast was what was
Yeah, well,
this is perfect.
You want enough contrast to see all of your stitches, but I still wanted it to coordinate. So
So
it
you
actually
swatched. So you swatched before you started.
I did actually. I did. I always.
That's how you know. That's how you don't get
I definitely have swatched the color work. So.
2/3 the way through the sweater and be like, oh, I don't like this color combo.
Yeah. Yeah. So so anyway, we love Scout. And DK is a great way for sweaters. Like if you want to be able to wear a sweater indoors, you don't want it to only be an outdoor sweater.
Yeah.
The slight lightness in the weight of DK versus worsted is definitely, it's one way to do that. It really is. And wool does breathe. So yeah. Actually, does anybody have questions? We should, we're always happy to answer questions. And that's actually one of the fun things.
There's a question in the chat. I'm going to see who's
That's fun for us to do this live, because usually when we podcast, we're doing it a few days before you see it. So we don't get to do questions.
Amanda commented that the Ankur sweater, there's a summer shirt that PetiteKnit just came out with. That's an awesome pattern too.
Cool.
I agree. I like it.
Nice. All right.
I didn't knit anything for myself this summer because I can't fit knit everything.
Exactly. So it would be a one-time use. That's not worth it. So so I think that's actually, let me go grab, I should have done it while we had Haley on the screen, but there were those kits we had also.
Oh yeah.
From Melbourne, when I mentioned that we had some perennial, we only have it in kits. And this is the kit we have. It's the Bow in the Sky shawl kit.
Bow in the Sky
shawl.
This I can wear.
And our colleague Vivian made this as a store sample.
Yeah. I love this shawl. It's so pretty.
It's really pretty and fun. It is, yeah. So this was a pattern that Courtney did for local yarn store day a couple of years ago.
It's got this lace on the end.
And we've got a few kits left. Are these on the website?
They are on the website, but there's no photo of it. So you just have like the words with no photograph of what the kit is.
But now everyone knows what they look.
But now you know what they look like.
Yeah, exactly.
I do all the photography for our website. I've gotten through I think all the yarn now. I'm working on accessories and things like that, but I haven't got through everything yet.
Yeah, so this is what the kit looks like, and
that's the other colorway.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like this is more an Amanda colorway. It's got the navy and the green and the mustardy and the natural. Right.
And then this was the Vivian colorway, the bright. Yes. She's all about that hot pink and everything. She's so fun. She's got a fun palette. So
anything.
So these are well, and actually, that's one thing we should have said and we didn't say. For people who are watching this presentation, or we're doing a code, right, for 20% off?
I'm gonna do a code. Yeah, I haven't done it yet. I'll do it between 11 and 12 today.
So,
but yeah, it'll run the duration of Wool Walk for anybody who watches our thing. So.
Which is through October 11th.
Yep.
So today's Sunday. It's through next Sunday, and we'll do what, NJ WW 2020. Easy to remember.
Talk about the next yarn and I'll figure out what it is. I'll put it in the chat.
All right. Sounds good.
And then I'll put it on the bottom of the screen so folks watching afterwards can see it too. So
yep. So at 20% off, these are going to be around $50. They were $66 originally.
These ones.
So yeah. So we do have a few of those left. And yeah, and I don't know, actually I do on Scout. I don't think I said what the price of Scout was. Scout is $16 a skein and it is 274 yards. It's a lot of yardage. It really is. You get great yardage.
Yeah, the ladies at Cowl really do make excellent yarns at affordable prices, which is one thing they focus on.
Definitely. No, you can tell. Yep, for sure. And this is also 100% wool, and it is, as Amanda said, made in Peru.
Yep.
So, all right. So I think that is it for Hellborn, and
we have one more.
Another brand that we love of our brands that we love here in the store is Northlight. Yeah, and Northlight is a company that is located on Block Island, Rhode Island, and it's a family-run business.
Sven and Laura.
They're lovely, lovely people.
Yeah,
I think they were one of the first groups that we connected with when we first went to TNNA. It was so funny because at that show there were like 200 vendors. There were easily 200 booths. I was there the day before you, I think, because you had other commitments. Yeah. And I just did, I had been to a lot of trade shows, never a yarn trade show. And I knew, my approach is just kind of walk around and just kind of get a feel for things the first day. Don't spend a lot of time getting into conversations with different groups. Sven was one of the first people I talked to. In spite of that, he's just, so lovely. And then the next day when Amanda and I went back together, we looked at our list at the end of the day. I was like, well, Northlight is one of the companies we want to work with. We knew that they were. Their yarns are lovely. They're great people. Their mission, one of their missions is bringing year-round employment to an area that has a very seasonal economy normally.
Right.
Because Block Island is, it's a little island between Long Island and Rhode Island, and it's, you can only get there by ferry. There are no cars on the island.
There's very few cars,
or virtually none. It's so it's definitely more of a tourist place, and by having their business there, they are bringing employment for some part of their community year round.
So Sven, I'd say he's the ambassador for Northlight.
Definitely.
But he'll tell you about like when they were starting their business, there was actually no zoning code for heavy industry on Block Island. So like whenever you start a business, you have to like apply for a permit in the town where you're establishing your business. And as we know, sometimes your permit gets denied. Not in Montclair.
Not in Montclair.
Montclair is awesome to work with as a business.
Absolutely.
But we haven't had that experience in Yarnia. But they had that experience on Block Island. But when they went to their, I guess, town council or their whatever, registrar, it's like this type of business doesn't exist on our island. They actually had to change the laws on Block Island.
Really? I didn't know that. I never heard that story.
To like establish a new zoning code for heavy industry.
Wow.
So yeah. So Sven, like he's he does a lot of the talking. He's super fun. Laura blends the yarn.
Right. She blends her colors.
And she is like a perfectionist. So I think you'll see that like throughout their line. She pays so much attention. They have the mill is there. They dye the yarn or the wool. So Northlight is dyed in the wool, like before it's dyed spun. As wool.
Yeah.
So you'll see like she pays so much attention to having excellent fibers. And I'd say this is some of the finest yarn we have in this show.
It really is. It's lovely. And actually, I've got Spring Street. They didn't realize that. So you've got. So again, going from.
Oh, am I going heaviest to lightest?
Yeah, heaviest to lightest. We've got Atlantic and Ocean Avenue. Do we have anything in heaviest? Oh yeah, the cowls.
The cowls.
The orange and white. You can just hold the orange and white out. So they have two worsted weight yarns, Atlantic and Ocean Avenue. And we've actually got them. Yeah, they really are. They're pretty compatible.
The difference is the fiber, right?
The origin of the fiber, exactly. Atlantic comes from the Falkland Islands, and it's 170 yards for $30. Ocean Ave is USA sourced, and it's 180 yards, so it's ever so slightly lower in gauge.
Extremely slightly.
Yeah, it's less than 10. It's like 5%. But you can't tell. 5% of worsted yarn is not. It's not really noticeable.
Like I said, we put them together on the shelf.
Yeah, exactly. I've used them together. Yeah. So
well, that's all their tags.
Yeah.
That's the colors we have right now. Tags in the front. I'm sorry.
I know. I didn't. After I did that basket, I didn't go quite so tag crazy on the others. So Haley, do you want to show us so the orange and white sample is Ocean Ave. This is the Honey Cowl by Antonia Shankland. And I did this, I color blocked this in a kind of crazy way. My goal was just to do it with, there were 2 or 4 stains, but just to use up what I had. It didn't need to be exactly even. And I think it's kind of fun. The honey cowl is a great, you know, advanced beginner pattern. It really, it's knits, pearls, and slip stitches. So you can make a pretty impressive looking item. That's a great gift, great thing to use yourself, just with those few stitches. We also had a red single color honey cowl that we cannot locate at this point.
That's not inside out?
That's the outside. The slip
Oh,
stitch
really?
is the outside.
Oh, cool.
But actually, you can also, if I had done it more
Yeah,
carefully.
that's pretty on both sides. Okay.
Yeah, it is pretty on both sides. It really is. And normally, this was originally written as a single color pattern, but it works really nicely as a 2-color pattern as well. So, all right. And then, so next thing we want to talk about is Northlight's Water Street DK. And this is one of the most luxurious yarns we have in the store. It is 60% prime merino, 40% cashmere. It is so delicious. We definitely have people who come here just for this yarn who are such fans of it. And Amanda made a gorgeous sweater, which Haley will model for you in a moment.
Yep.
So Water Street DK is 165 yards and $39. So it's definitely something for somebody that you absolutely love. You know, it's a yarn
or yourself,
including yourself. Exactly, you're allowed to love yourself. So
I knit for myself out of life.
Yeah. So it is so yummy and delicious. And I made a hat out of 2 colors of this. It was the green and the yellow, one of the darker green and the yellow. And actually, I have some still at home in my stash that it's supposed to be another store sample that I haven't done yet of knits.
So for each of the Water Street colors, Laura blends at least 3 colors together.
They're so gorgeous. It really is an incredibly beautiful yarn.
Yeah. So this is the Harbor Fog color, and you can see there's turquoise, there's like browns and naturals in here. Like this is Salt Marsh, which reads green, but it's like navy and yellow and a little green.
Enchanted Forest is really pretty. I don't know if I got that in there. It's like a darker green and a darker blue, and that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So
it has like even a little purpley and yellow in there.
Yep, definitely.
And you can see if you go on our website to the Water Street DK, you can see all those. You should be able to zoom into the photos pretty closely. I take them at high res, so you can like click in and actually see all those flecks. It's super cool.
It's so pretty.
But here Haley's wearing I made the Marius-genser by Unn Søiland Dale, I think. Norwegian designer from from a few decades ago. But this is like
it's so
the
pretty.
Traditional Norwegian sweater.
Have
you worn it before?
No,
it's amazing. You just go around all day sighing if you wear it, right?
It's spectacular. Yeah, so I used 3 colors of the Water Street for that. The navy, the natural, and the red. But yeah, it's
it feels better than you could imagine. It really does. It's just I will make that other pair of knits as a sort of sample this winter. I commit.
Yeah.
Okay. No, really, because it's like it would be. You know, I want to have something here where people can feel how it's like it feels beautiful in the skein.
Yeah.
But it would be, you know, even worked up. It just softens. You know, as most yarns do.
No,
it's amazing. It's like butter.
It is like butter. This one is. And so this sweater is worked traditional Norwegian style, bottom up. You start at the bottom and go to the bust line, and then you do each sleeve from the sleeve cuff to the to the join, and then you join them all to do the color work. And this was actually the sweater where I learned to hold 2 colors at the same time. Before this, I knit color work by like dropping color A, picking up color B, and always keeping them on the proper sides or color dominance. But this one, there's so much color A, B, A, B, A, B that I was like, okay, We're gonna learn this.
I need to master this. It's time. It's time.
Yeah, totally. But and I remember I learned that I was flying on a plane to a business trip. I had this as my plane knitting, and I was like, okay, 4 hours or 5 hours to California. We're gonna learn how to knit holding 2 colors at the same time. It was worth it. Definitely. Now Haley wants a Water Street sweater.
I would love. This is also both Water Street and Atlantic.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, sweetie.
Yeah,
I forgot about that. That is another sample that Jen made. And I think the name of the pattern is on the tag. Can you?
Block Island Shadow Cowl.
Oh yeah, that's from North
One of the North Lights patterns. Yeah. Yeah, they do commission designers to do patterns featuring their yarns, and they are, they're all in Ravelry, and
I'll put them in the down bar.
Yeah.
The description down below when this is on YouTube.
Yeah. All right. So the final yarn that we are going to feature this morning is North Lights Spring Street, which is their fingering weight. And I was able to use this in a shawl that I made, feels like no time ago. It was in 2020 for sure.
It just seems like because it was the beginning of 2020, back when we used to live normal lives.
Yep, exactly. So
yeah,
maybe you were already home. Yeah. So at 1 year at TNNA, Sven gave me 2 skeins of Spring Street and a pattern, and said, "Here, make a new store sample for Yarnia." And I said, "Oh, thank you, Sven. That's lovely." And I love, I hadn't used this yarn before, really wanted to, and I love the pattern. I thought it was beautiful, but it was one of those patterns where I normally knit while I'm watching TV and or listening to an audiobook. Big fan of multitasking. It was charted, which is great. I chart things that aren't charted sometimes, but this was charted in such a way that literally every stitch was charted individually. There were no repeats, and that was not the kind of knitting I felt like doing at that time. So I found another pattern called Bealtaine. Oh shoot, is it Carol Feller? I forget.
I think so.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember typing.
We'll put it in there. But so Haley is modeling this for us, and maybe you want to even hold it up, like to show. It's a great.
This one is nice.
It's a nice mix of garter. Oh, I think it's actually upside down, sweetie. The sawtooth is. Oh no, that is on the bottom. Okay. Okay. So it's a combination of garter and lace. It is not complicated lace. It is both charted and written. And one of the things about it that I loved, that I think makes it a great, semi-portable project, is that the rows never get too long. You're increasing, but you're decreasing too. And the decrease makes the sawtooth edge. So, I've had a couple of people come in and, once we had the sample in the store, get a couple of skeins of Spring Street. It's a beautiful gift for somebody.
Yeah. This is one of my goal yarns. I could find the colorwork fingering weight sweater. I think that would be, or maybe Birkin. I am not doing a fingering weight sweater for myself. I have a fingering weight sweater in my brain queue. With Bealtaine because I'm addicted. Yeah, exactly.
If I do, I'll probably do that.
But then I've got to make another fingering weight sweater. But anyway, that'll be a 2021 project, maybe all of 2021.
Yeah. So Spring Street is also Falkland Islands wool. It is 310 yards per skein, and it is $30 per skein. So, and it is non-superwash. Actually, I didn't even think about that. Every yarn we talked about today
We're only telling you about non-superwash.
Today is the non-superwash day.
That's right.
Little did I realize, but anyway. So yeah, and here are the colors we have.
Yeah, we will have some superwash yarns on our Tuesday show.
We absolutely will. Yeah. So this is lovely. It's not necessarily the thing that jumps off the shelf, especially if somebody is looking to blend lots of different colors. It's I don't know, it's differently plied somehow. It just has a really unique feel to it. And when I was trying to figure out what to do with the skeins that Sven gave me, I knew I wanted to do a single color shawl. To me, it's the kind of yarn that you want to show the beauty of the yarn. And I think a pattern like Bealtaine really does. you focus on the simple pattern and then the beauty of the yarn. So anyway, I was happy with that combination.
No, I love the way this yarn, you're right, it doesn't feel like anything else that we have.
Yeah, it really, you know, and maybe partly because it is non-superwash, but it's very soft. It doesn't have any prickle the way a lot of non-superwash yarns do. It is super soft, but at the same time, you know, it is hand washed. But for a shawl, that's fine. Like, how often do you even wash shawls?
Yeah, that's another thing that that's been. So he was actually our first trunk show here at
That's
Yarnia.
right, he was. And was that one? Did that snow? No, it was Toad Hop when they came. It snowed. We had our first three trunk shows, like, each had their own kind of calamity.
Yeah. But Sven was driving his son to college across the United States.
That's right, and so stopped on the way here.
But no, we had a lovely crowd. But he was talking about how not only is Laura particular with the colors, but also with the combing, and that's one thing that that you know, that's what causes prickle in yarn is when you have the guard hairs and how it's combed.
Right.
But she is obsessive about combing out like every bit of prickle from her yarns, and they are like spectacular. That also is why it costs $30 a skein, because there's a lot more.
There's a lot of work that goes into it.
And there's a lot, obviously, if you're coming out, you know, that some of they're
extra steps, and you're losing some of your volume.
You're losing the volume. That's right. So you have to have more raw material to go into the finished product.
Right. Very
so we are running up on time.
Yeah, we are, and I know someone else is starting at 11. Does anyone have any questions before
I'm going to flip over to Zoom, so if anybody has questions or comments, or
anyone in the chat.
No.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really enjoyed it. This was a different feel. It was fun. Thank you, Haley, for modeling for us.
I'll switch over to Haley. And if you like this format, give us a thumbs up. If you're like, have suggestions for Tuesday and you want to see something different, let us know. Because, we're doing it for you.
Yeah,
hope you enjoyed it.
Yep, absolutely. All right. And happy Wool Walk.
Happy Wool Walk.
Don't forget to go to shopyarnia.com. And, we've got to do the code.
I did.
You did? All right. What is the code?
The code is all caps. Yeah, Yarnia WW 2020.
Yarnia WW 2020. Okay, great. Super. So, so with that code, you can get 20% off any of the yarns we talked about today on our website. And we hope you take advantage of that. And we look forward to seeing you again, either virtually or in the store.
Sounds good.
All right.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.